Welcome to the Cognitive Crucible, produced by the Information Professionals Association. Our website is information-professionals.org, where you can find links and information about today's conversation and get access to members-only content. Join John Bicknell and explore all aspects of our generational challenge, cognitive security. The Cognitive Crucible is a forum that presents different perspectives and emerging thought leadership related to the information environment. The opinions expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of or endorsement by the Information Professionals Association.
My guest today on the Cognitive Crucible is Janne Riihelainen, a nonfiction writer, communications expert, and security policy columnist who has become known for his down-to-earth and accessible approach to writing about security policy. He is also one of the leading experts on information influence, training various actors to understand the current state of the information environment for their own operations. His book about security policy came out in 2017. Janne Riihelainen, welcome to the Cognitive Crucible.
Thank you. Great to be here after listening to you so many times before.
Well, it is great to have you, and thanks for reaching out via email and suggesting that we talk about this really interesting information influence operations course that you and your colleagues worked on. But before we get into this topic, could we start, please, by getting your assessment of our strategic landscape?
Our strategic landscape right now is in the fog. We can't see much because there's so much going on. When we are talking now, it was the Munich Security Conference was in the weekend, and there was what we here in Europe see that USA kind of retreated from Europe in many ways. Some people even talk with much stronger words. What was the decisions concerning to Ukraine and the peace negotiations there, and actually I can't say anything about anything else than things are changing. This is similar times than when Berlin Wall crumbled down. There's something similar going on, and the world order is changing right now, and I think our strategic landscape is going to be changing near future all the time, and because there are so big things going on. Also, not just what has been decided as politics, but also because climate crisis, because technological environment is changing with AI, and then also geopolitical changes. There is not just Europe and US. There's China, India, everything. We got so much going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. Please tell our audience, Janne, where are you located right now?
I'm living in a small town in eastern Finland called Joensuu, and this is about 50 miles from Russian border. So I'm in the eastern front of NATO right now. So and it's I'm living by the lakeside here, and living this kind of a small town life. But of course, like this, we have now access everywhere to the world, and we can communicate across the Atlantic and across the American continent.
Right. So we spoke before we started recording here. What are some of your observations from where you say you've lived there, I think, since 1989 or so.
Yes.
What are some of your observations over the last couple of years, both since Finland became a member of NATO, and some of the observations with respect to your neighbor Russia and their involvement in Ukraine?
I've been living near eastern border actually about all my life. I was living in
Okay.
a small town called Hamina, and when we were kids, we were picking up Russian Bibles with Russian letters by the road because in that time it was illegal to get Bibles to Russia, to Soviet Union actually, to Soviet Union. So somebody was trying to smuggle them, but chickened out and getting those Bibles out to the roadside. So I've been in a way this having this border life all my life, and right now when the big uh, 22 when Russia invaded in a big way to Ukraine, kind of everything has changed. Uh, Before that, like Finnish people were okay, we don't need NATO, we can take care of ourselves and so on. But then everybody was like, okay, this is it. Maybe we should go into NATO, and in a way that changed our big long line of well, we were not neutral anymore. We were part of EU and so on, but in a way it changed a lot. And well, right now on the other side of border, there is no military threat to Finland because all the garrisons are about empty. All the men, all the vehicles, everything has been taken to Ukraine. But because Russian is kind of covering their own bases with GPS interference. There's been many times actually here in Joensuu when a plane can't land here in our airfield uh, because they don't have GPS. So it's kind of coming over from there, and of course Eastern Finland used to be. We had a lot of tourists from Russia. We used to have even in some big shops even some signs in Russia and so on, but now the border has been closed and I think will be closed, and so it's changed a lot here.
Right, right. Uh, this might sound a little bit like a silly question. I don't intend for it to be, but I was just looking at the proximity map of for where you are and Russia, but there. How how porous is the border? Let's just say that you were in the remote wilderness. How difficult would it be to actually cross the border into Russia and back and forth, in remote areas? Is it would it be relatively easy to do even if it's not advisable?
Uh, Basically, you can do it. Actually, there was this case when a few weeks ago when there was some a teenager who was actually
Mm,
originated from Ukraine,
mm,
and he was living with his family in Finland, and he walked to Russia. And
hmm
basically it's because it's a so-called green border.
hmm
There are not many roads and so on, and after World War II, the border has actually been more like the eastern side have been taking care of it. They have uh, KGB and later FSB have been taking care of the border guarding. They have minefields. They have everything. They have many sectors there. In Finland, we have a more like technological surveillance and so on. But basically, you can go there and but it's well,
hmm
it's -10 in Celsius right now here in. But there's not so much snow right now. We don't have very much snow in this winter, but it's cold
Yeah.
and it's dark most of
Yeah.
the day,
Right.
and
Right.
there are lots of bears around here. But well, bears are not they are not they usually they notice a human being, but we don't notice them because they are so well
I see.
hide.
Yeah, yeah, I see. All right. Well, let's get a little bit more into the topic of the day. So, could you please tell our audience about the Influence Operations course that you helped create? And we'll have a link to this in the show notes. How did this course come about? How is it funded? Please tell us about it.
Yeah, it's the course was part of initiative called Cyber Citizen, which was this EU-funded initiative which is aimed at giving normal everyday people skills about cybersecurity. And as we think here, the part of cybersecurity is it's between your ears. Of course, you need some technological skills, and you need all kind of you need to have your updates and so on. But the most important thing is your attitude, and in a way, this is part of that. So that people are realizing that they can provide their own security, and they can be part of bigger security structure in whole EU. So that was our aim, and we have this portal called secport.org, and there's also this cybersecurity course, and then there's this information operation course. And you can find lots of information in all EU languages, and also in English, which is basically when Britain left, we don't but we are still having English as our official one of the official languages. So you can find in your own language there important information about cybersecurity and also information security.
Right. So, when did you and your colleagues complete the course?
Actually, I think it was sometimes in October. So our initiative was first year we were basically studying. We were studying how our citizens trained and educated in cybersecurity in different EU countries. We had this big report where we were going through that, and then when we knew what was happening, we were thinking, okay, what should we do? And we did a mobile game, which is also actually big part also about information operations, and it's called Cyber City Tycoon, and you can get it both in Android and iOS. And then we were having this portal which contains important information, and also it connects to your own country's uh, officials of cybersecurity. So basically, when there's actually this kind of red button thing. You press if you have something has happened, you press the uh, uh, red button in your own language, and you can find contact information for different kind of officials and places where you can get helped, who tell you what to do. So it's also this kind of a very because most of the people are interested in cybersecurity then when something happens. So
Right.
we need to take care of that, and this basically this is this is also one thing that when we were talking about this course and the other course in EU, in Brussels or somewhere else in European Union countries, the people were a little surprised that okay, doesn't cybersecurity is it's problem of the engineers and so on,
Mm.
and we said no, everybody can do their share, and it's growing about this kind of Finnish comprehensive security thinking that if we want to have security and in our society, everybody needs to do their own part.
Right. Right. So, the course was finished in October of 2024. And
Yes.
by the way, we are recording this on February 17th, 2025. So the course has is relatively new. What has the reception been? Have you and your colleagues received feedback from others in the European Union and your home country?
Well, professionals have liked it, and of course, we are when they're what our target audience are
Yeah.
normal people. They don't say anything, but they may maybe do it. The most important thing is that if they do even part of it, it's great, it's good, it's something more. So basically, but it's the feedback what has been there is that there's really a lot of information about this kind of technical cybersecurity, but information influencing is kind of new thing. There's not everybody who have been on the top of this thing like Information Professionals Association, which has make very valuable work for years now. But most of the governments and different kind of officials, they are kind of they have said, okay, good that we have this is new for us,
Hmm. Hmm.
and this is kind of a well challenge of our generation. So
Yeah.
so we are trying to get we are kind of we were hoping that in a way this course is making impact also in a way to professionals everywhere in EU, well maybe globally too, but everywhere in EU, that there are these things that what we see important here. So so and we can teach everybody what how do you protect yourself and how you are not like fooled too many
Yes.
times because
Yeah.
we all get fooled sometimes.
That's right. That's right. There's the old expression, I think it's attributed to Richard Feynman. I'm going to get it wrong, but uh, it's something close to what you were just saying. Don't be fooled, and remember, you're the easiest one to be fooled. Um, well, do you have how is this course being marketed? I know that you have a marketing background as well. I did not cover that, but from a marketer's perspective, how is the EU, socializing this with the population?
Of course, what I would have hoped that we would have money to make this kind of a kind of commercial marketing,
Mhm.
but in a way it's because EU funding is quite bureaucratic as it's
Uh-huh.
supposed to be because we don't want money to go to waste. But but the most we are trying to get our message through these kind of through officials, through schools, through
Mm.
universities. In a way, it's not like we don't think that it's going to be like instant hit, but we hope that it goes through there and then there, and it kind of crawls around Union and makes its impact somewhere there. And also we have because we there are many like ENISA in Greece, which is European cybersecurity uh, agency or something like these kind of organizations are using our material and it goes through there here and there. So I'm hopeful that it's slow. I would like to
Hmm.
be it faster, but I think it's going through here and there and making impact, making normal citizens' life more secure, and in that way, the whole union is coming more
Right.
secure.
Right. Are there any um, uh, planned improvements or similar initiatives that are either being considered or are underway? Uh,
Yes, there is a, well, we have thought that when we might do second information open, like deeper one, maybe in the future. But there is also University of Jyväskylä, where there is strong. They are teaching and studying information influencing and disinformation. They have actually opened this kind of university course, which is much larger than our course about information. And I don't know if it's in Finnish only, but maybe it's in if is it in English too? But that one I could check up.
I see. I see. Well, so the course is free. And anyone can get a user account and check it out. I did, and it's really easy to use and informative. I mean, I think it's a fantastic initiative and does what you and your colleagues were hoping it would do to, increase awareness and, give some um, uh, 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 intuitive or some simple rules in order to help improve the resiliency and help educate the population on information related challenges and cyber challenges that are being levied on democracies and the free world currently. I mean, we are in a cognitive war right now, and so it seems like this initiative is a dynamite way of productively engaging in the problem.
Yes, indeed, and it's because if you want to protect yourself in information war, there is so much that a state can do. There's not so much because basically all the citizens are there in this battlefield. So we basically need to train and to give skills and attitude as many people as possible, and that makes us stronger. So it's like in Finnish comprehensive security way that we we try to think that when everybody's doing their share, then things are much better and we are stronger then. But it's not just. I don't think it's not just this because the situation is like this in international politics. It's also part of our this modern civics. You need to understand the information environment around you, especially now when AI is well has come already, but it's going to change a whole lot more and makes this all this much more like bigger challenge for every one of us. And we need to educate ourselves. We need to have more attitude like to survive. It's like basically when we are small, our parents are teaching us how to handle ourselves in a traffic, how to
Mm,
walk there, how to not go down when there's a red light and so on. And we learn those rules and lessons, and we know what's secure and what's not. And basically, what is now happening that we need to educate ourselves in this new digitalized AI, full of AI world to survive in this environment, and it's really it's a big challenge.
it sure is. I don't think I asked you this, but how many people were on the team to develop this course?
basically there were like I was the main like a main guy with who was taking care of who was picking up the themes and these, and then there was a writer who was taking down and made them as a course. She was a professional in this our company called Context, who was our partner there, and then there were a couple of more technical persons who were doing this. So basically and then there were some people who were taking care of the project. So I think 6 or 7 people of us were working like half a year approximately to do this thing.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well done. And I think that it's going to pay dividends into the future, for sure. I wanted to also ask you, you shared with me some information about Finland's comprehensive security initiative. I suspect that there is a good bit of overlap between this initiative and the what was the other thing you mentioned? The EU's Cyber Citizen Initiative. But could you talk a little bit about the Finnish comprehensive security?
It's actually our national strategy.
Okay.
So
Oh,
so
all
so
right.
and it means that uh, individuals, business community, authorities, organizations all take care of try to build security and resilience and to take care of our society to make it vital functions to work in all circumstances. So basically we have this kind of I've been going to these different kind of well, they are not war games, but basically there are like construction companies, people are coming in and some authorities, and they are thinking that okay, if this is happening, how could we uh, like repair a hospital or something if
Mm.
it's bombed or something else happened. There is in logistics, in digital ways, in media, we have these kind of authorities-led networks who are uh, building uh, different kind of organization and plans and so on. When basically, if something happens, there are already like they have plans and they can say and call this okay, let's do this. We've been practicing and so on. So basically, we can we can mobilize our whole society in a way if there is some crisis. If it's natural, like some big storm or something. Well, we don't have storms or hurricanes or earthquakes here, but it's also possible, or if it's some kind of a conflict or something. So that is our way. We are there's a little bit under 6 million of us in a quite large area beside aggressive neighbors. So we've been we've been doing this a long time because of the reason.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, uh, well done to you and your colleagues, Janne, on that information operations course. And I hope that a whole bunch of people from the Cognitive Crucible audience, check it out. I'd like to wrap up, if we may, in our typical fashion. So as you know, we have a lot of students and researchers who listen to the podcast. Could you offer a fruitful research question that a interested student might explore if they want to, further research and efforts that may be related to the kinds of things that you and your colleagues have been working on?
There's one thing that I've been thinking a lot in last few weeks, And about a year ago, Finland and United States, we were having this memorandum of understanding about defending together ourselves from information influencing from outside Russia and China. And right now, I think we have administration in the United States which is not so well. The facts are only one option to them, and in a way, this changes this scenery, this cooperation, and all this to get all this this scenery very much. And
Mhm.
if somebody is not right now starting to take notes, starting to getting articles from the media and taking all this kind of stuff and try to figure out what is going to happen in this next year, next 2 years in information environment, in international politics, and that could be like hugely interesting.
I'm trying to understand what you're suggesting. You're suggesting that someone try to predict what is likely to
No,
happen over.
no, like somebody could try to watch out what is happening now, because
Hmm.
that is like the main thing right now. We don't know what is going to happen, and we have had this kind of a certain kind of a strategy together to confront Russia and China and their information influencing, their disinformation. But right now, it's actually like this kind of a battle of narratives is not just between democratic and authoritarian camp, one also, which is not good, and I'm not glad about it, but also over Atlantic there are some things that are, I don't know what is going to happen, but I have this intuition that there's something happening there, and if somebody can kind of picking it up when it happens, it
Oh,
could be like much more when you have these all these materials
I see.
together.
Maybe
Yeah.
identifying signals which are able to be detected that can then be used to enhance or to provide some kind of warning or assessment of things that are uh, worth paying attention to.
Yes, yes, because everything is so cloudy, so foggy right now,
Hmm.
and I'm afraid that we need, well, like in every all the other companionships, when there are troubled times, we should be able to talk more and more. But
Oh.
right now, it's not easy.
I see. So reducing the risk or identifying the signal within the noise that would be fruitful for our countries to
Yes,
maintain productive dialogue.
yes, so we could understand what is, because right now there is this kind of at least in here in Europe side, we are we are quite we are very well, almost afraid of what is going to happen. What is this? What is happening right now? What is coming from United States, and they are trying to bring here to it doesn't feel like that we are allied,
Hmm.
and so it's really troublesome thing.
I see. Yep. Yep. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. That is for sure. All right. And finally, could you, other than the information operations course, which we'll have a link in the show notes for that, but is there a good book or some other online resource perhaps that you could suggest to our audience?
I would just suggest that you would find a page called EU versus disinfo. It's EU vs disinfo. It's part of the European Union uh, foreign ministry in a way, and they are like keeping eye on what is coming from Russia, what kind of narratives, what kind of lies and so on. They are having excellent newsletter. Every week you can get the latest what is happening. They have database there where you can find like for years and years all these with the different themes there, these disinformation and information influencing. It's this kind of a huge like place where you can find out what all kind of things Russians have tried to say to us. So that is definitely one place to go if you're into information security.
Okay. EU vs disinfo.eu.
Yes.
I guess it's the European Union versus disinformation,
Yes.
a catalog or database of instances of either verified or suspected disinformation from various actors, I would
Yes.
assume. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
excellent. That's an excellent resource. We'll be sure to have a link to that in the show notes. And with that, Janne Riihelainen, thank you so much for being a guest on the Cognitive Crucible.
Thank you.
The Cognitive Crucible is the only podcast dedicated to increasing interdisciplinary collaboration between information operations practitioners, scholars, and policymakers. To find out more about the Information Professionals Association, visit us at information-professionals.org. Please support our podcast by giving us a 5-star rating and leaving a review.